What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the brand new We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Origin. To start this video off, I just want to clarify that this review is definitely going to be biased, and that's because if you don't know anything about me or my channel, I actually designed this sneaker with the company called We Are Underdogs. So if I call it Sneaker of the Year or the best thing ever, don't hold it against me. But in all seriousness, I know this isn't Sneaker of the Year, but I do want to say that this is probably one of my proudest moments when it comes to sneaker YouTube and just design in general. Having a shoe that I designed with literally my signature on the back and on the insole is one of the craziest things I've ever experienced. I've designed shoes in the past, but never one that's mine. Like, this is my shoe. This is the Seth Fowler special. Well, it's the Origin, but you know. If you'd like to grab a pair of the We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Origins, pre-orders are available now, and they should be shipping between the middle to the end of May. We opened up pre-orders for the shoe when we first announced the sneaker, and the first 100 pairs that were pre-ordered were actually numbered out of 100, and they sold out within the first 6 hours, which is absolutely insane. And even if you weren't one of the people who got one of the first 100 pairs, this colorway is actually limited to just 500 pairs total. Pre-orders are actually still open through the link in the top of the description, but we have put in the final order, and most of the pairs have already sold, so if you would like to grab a pair of these before they actually release, now is the time to do it. If you've already ordered a pair or you plan to order a pair, we still are on target for the middle to the end of May, but of course things can change because of the craziness in the world right now, but we do expect to have everyone's pairs out by then. Not only that, but last week We Are Underdogs just started to hold the Origin contest, which allows one person to have their own custom colorway of the sneaker made. Initially for this design contest, we had over 800 entries from over 450 people. We did have to narrow it down to one entry per person, and you can actually vote on those entries right now through the link at the top of the description. The design contest from We Are Underdogs was a super cool idea that allowed people to express their creativity during this crazy quarantine. Man, and some of those entries were absolutely insane. There was beautiful renderings, beautiful colorways. The amount of work that you guys put into this contest was absolutely unbelievable. So huge thank you to those who participated both through voting and of course submitting their own designs. But why don't we jump right into the sneaker itself, and I give you guys the most biased review I think I've ever done. The We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Origin is a sneaker made up almost entirely of leathers, suedes, and nubucks. In fact, almost all of the materials used on this shoe were sourced within 5 miles of the Portuguese factory where the shoe was made. Shameless plug, but if you guys have not seen the video where I visited the factory in Portugal and watched the entire first sample of the sneaker be made, you definitely have to check that out. There'll be a link in the description below and of course in the eye at the top of the screen. It gave me a whole new appreciation and understanding for what actually goes into making a shoe and the quality of materials that were used. Starting off around the toe, we've got this super soft and naturally tumbled calf leather, which comes in a light blue with just a hint of gray in it. This leather panel actually runs uninterrupted from the midfoot of the medial side all the way around the toe to the midfoot of the lateral side. It's insanely soft and I can't wait to see it creased after I've worn it for a while because I love the way leather looks when it's creased. Maybe that's just me. In the center of the toe, you've got this buttery, full-grain nubuck that's slightly tumbled. And it does that thing where when you swipe it one way, it gets darker, and you swipe it the other way and it gets lighter. I just love that. Also, just to clear up a misconception that I had about nubuck, apparently nubuck is much more premium and much more expensive than suede. I had no idea, I always thought it was the other way around, but apparently I was wrong. Speaking of suede, as you move farther back in the shoe, you've got this light brown bovine suede panel. The suede that we used was actually sourced from an Italian tannery and is one of the only materials that we didn't source or make in Portugal. On the bottom of the suede panel, you've got these two white hand-stitched X details, and yes, they are literally hand-stitched. I really like this detail because it adds a nice little pop to the side of the sneaker. As you move up on the shoe, around the tongue cutout, you've got more of that light blue, super soft leather. Weaving through the lace punch-outs, you've got these bright white flat laces that tie together with the color of the midsole. Not only does the Origin come with a set of white laces, it also comes with a set of coral laces if you decide to switch them out. I really dig the way the coral laces look. They give the upper of the shoe just that much more pop, but if you prefer the more refined look, then definitely go with the white laces. Underneath the laces, you've got a light brown suede pull tab, which actually matches the suede panel on the side of the shoe. This suede pull tab is attached to the nicely padded gray nubuck tongue. Moving inside the shoe, you've got this insanely soft white pigskin leather sock liner, which feels incredible and actually breathes a lot more than you would think. To be honest, I always thought leather was not a great material to use on the sock liner of a shoe because I always thought that it would make your foot more sweaty. However, I learned that the reason mesh is used is because it's cheaper and not because it breathes better. And the reason leather sock liners on more mass-produced sneakers don't breathe that well is because they're not using very nice leather or not even real leather at all, more of a plasticky synthetic leather leather, and that literally has no pores and can't breathe. So not only does the super soft leather sock liner make the shoe feel more premium, but it also breathes really well. The insole of the shoe comes in white leather with the We Are Underdogs branding and Seth Fowler branding printed on the heel in black. The insole is made up of a molded PU, which is very soft and pretty similar to memory foam, and it's actually covered in pigskin leather as well. And one of my favorite things about the insole is how insanely padded it is. Because it's so thick in the heel, you get a lot of impact protection, and it feels really nice underfoot. As for sizing and fit, the We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Origin does seem to fit true to size, and that's the way that I would go. Unfortunately, because of the production costs of opening up a mold for the Cupsole, we are only able to offer sizes 8 through 13. The good news is though, we are able to offer half sizes between size 8 and size 13. Originally, we were only able to offer sizes 8 through 12 because we're using pre-existing Cupsole tooling. Like, we didn't design this Cupsole at all, but because there was so much demand for a size 13 when we first announced the sneaker, we were able to actually work with the factory and get one more size made. Continuing back on the lateral side of the sneaker, you've got this really nicely tumbled gray nubuck panel. Just above that, you've got more of this super soft, lightly tumbled blue leather with the We Are Underdogs logo debossed into it. Then moving even farther back in the shoe, you've got more of this light brown premium suede making up this heel panel. And this suede panel actually wraps all the way around the heel of the sneaker with no seam in the center. And then on the top of the heel of the sneaker, you've got another light brown suede pull tab. And rounding off the heel of the shoe, you've got more of that light blue tumbled leather with the Seth Fowler logo debossed into it. That is so crazy that my signature is on the back of a shoe. I can't get over that. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. If it wasn't for you guys, this would never have happened. This has been literally life-changing, and I can't thank you guys enough. But moving on, you've got this all-white EVA rubber Cupsole. Like I said before, this Cupsole design and tooling was actually sourced from the factory. We didn't design it, they did. And the reason for that is because actually designing and having your own Cupsole or just midsole and outsole tooling made costs tens of thousands of dollars, money that we just didn't have. But with that being said, I do have to say that I'm still very happy with the way that this Cupsole turned out. And one of the coolest things about this Cupsole is if you look at the bottom of the sneaker, it doesn't look like it has very much tread. But what's so cool about this Cupsole is that it's actually made up of a combination of materials, rubber and EVA, which is actually a proprietary combination, I believe, made by the factory Itaflex. But even though there really isn't much tread or traction pattern going on at all, it doesn't slip. I walked around in this shoe in the rain for hours, and I was blown away because I genuinely thought I was gonna fall. I thought it was just gonna be too smooth, and when I walked on something like brick or concrete or something that didn't have a lot of traction, I would slip all over the place. But I never had one issue, and that blew my mind. So shout out to Itaflex for making such dope Cupsoles. I'm blown away by it. Overall, the We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Origin is literally a dream come true. This is my own signature sneaker, and it happened. It's crazy, like I can't get over that. What's so special about this sneaker is not the end product itself, but it's the journey that it took to get there. I started sketching this shoe on Twitch back in November of last year, and then over time I put out some videos on how I was designing the sneaker, and you guys provided feedback and voted on the different designs, and then going to Portugal and experiencing how the sneaker is made and meeting all the people involved at all the different factories, and then finally actually putting it out and having you guys actually have a chance to grab the sneaker, and also having a design contest where you could design the sneaker yourself. The whole process has been absolutely unbelievable, and if it wasn't for you guys, and if it wasn't for We Are Underdogs and the factories involved, none of this would have happened. So I've got to give all of you just a huge, unbelievable thank you, because you guys have literally made my dream come true. It's nuts. So if you would like to grab my first signature sneaker, I've linked it in the top of the description. And if you don't want to, that's fine. Thank you so much for watching the video and supporting the channel. You have changed my life just by sitting in front of your computer screen, which is crazy to think. So thank you all so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.